What's going on, Maz Gang?
Hey guys,
For those of you just not joining us, my name is Brian, and this is my husband,
Alec.
and we're Meet the Mazelins.
Some of you may or may not know, but we are steadily approaching our 1 year anniversary here on YouTube. For the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at everything that we've done for the past year and thinking about the goals that we're going to have for the year to come.
Yes, and speaking of goals, we're extremely excited to tell you about today's video sponsor, Babbel.
Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world.
Yes, and being avid travelers and residents of Florida where Spanish is the unofficial second language, we thought it would be a lot of fun and very useful to learn it together.
Lessons learned on Babbel are designed by language professionals, and all of the lessons are short and easy to follow. They give you the option to customize your schedule so you can choose how long your lessons are and how often you do them.
It's also extremely interactive. In addition to the lessons, they have podcasts, games, and videos. They even have live classes to reinforce what you've learned. Are you Carla? Tú eres Carla. Carla.
¿Tú eres Carla?
All right.
The best part is there are 13 languages to choose from, and you can learn from home or on the go using your phone.
Yes, so tell us which language you'd like to learn in our comments and why.
And Babbel has decided to give a special discount of 60% off for our Mazgang members and their viewers. So if you want to join us on this language learning journey, click the link in the description box below. Now let's get to the video. So guys, when we had put it out there, both on YouTube and Instagram, that we were going to be celebrating this 1 year anniversary here on YouTube, and we wanted you to choose between doing a live and doing an updated Q&A, the polls leaned very much to the live. It was like 60-something to 30-something%.
Yeah.
But we did have a couple of people that expressed that because of time difference, they're not able to catch the lives, so they still wanted a Q&A. And we're like, we're celebrating, so why not just do both?
Yeah.
And I think it's fitting that we do an updated question and answer, because really and truly, our first question and answer is what propelled us into having an actual audience.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it feels correct.
Right. Yeah, it feels right.
Yeah. So on that note, we're gonna be asking both the questions from YouTube and from Instagram, or is it opposite way? I'm doing the YouTube questions and he's doing the Instagram. Yeah. So let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. You want to start, or you want me to start?
Oh, you can start.
All right. I'm calling the names too.
If you want.
Okay. So we got JBug 1980. What's going on, man? I have two questions. What is your favorite quality about the other, and favorite state you guys have visited?
Okay, so I'm answering first. Favorite quality. I think that my favorite quality is that he makes me feel special. Like, I feel like the way he treats me is different from how he treats everybody else. And that's with everything. Like, the way that he cares, you guys can see it in his eyes. People comment on that all the time. And yeah, I mean, I just feel extremely loved by him. He doesn't judge me for being weird or being too much or being too loud. At least not very often.
I never do.
Favorite state that we visited. And this, in me choosing, it has nothing to do with what the state itself has to offer. I think it's just the trip. So favorite trip for me was Vegas, which is Nevada. That's the state technically. And that was for his birthday. So that's my favorite trip so far.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you guys didn't really like that Vegas video. Yeah, but my favorite quality of Alex, there's so many. My goodness. What's my favorite one? I think my favorite quality is his listening. He will listen to me complain over and over and over, and I never feel like I'm getting on his nerve. Like, I complain about the same thing quite a bit sometimes, you know what I mean? So it's like, he just listens to me every time, and he gives me sound advice every time. So his listening skills unmatched. Excuse me. Um,
Favorite state?
my favorite state. Sorry. I think my favorite state is Louisiana, but that's on my own because I've gone there without him. So
Yeah, we haven't been yet because he's always wanted to bring me to New Orleans.
yes,
Yeah.
can't wait to do that. But I think I would have to agree with him. My favorite trip and state that we've been to together would have to be Nevada. Vegas was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
had so much fun. You guys did not. I don't think you guys felt how much fun we had through that video.
Yeah, because
Or
we
those
were
videos.
out, we were out when we were in Vegas. That's the longest that we've been out for any of the days. And it helped the fact that we were spending a couple days there, but especially our first night, like we got in and we were tired. We slept for like 2 hours and we were out until like 4 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
which is unheard of for this one.
Nowadays, yeah, I used to hang back in my heyday.
Yeah, but well, not since me. Okay, let's see. Let's go to one of the YouTube questions. So this is from Kyrie's. Hey y'all, since being on a public platform such as YouTube, the stress can be intense. What do you do or have done to keep your relationship, now marriage, from feeling the heat of such intensive pressure?
It's a good one. It's a very good question.
Can you please repeat the question? Well, I mean, I can answer. It, as you rightfully said, it can really be very pressuring, and I think especially of late, we felt that because when it is that you're literally spending all your time together, and this is a joint project, so outside of this, we have a relationship, and then this would be seen as a project that we're doing together. But this project is very much about our personal lives too. So the lines intersect and they blur. So it's kind of hard to separate the two of them. So sometimes I feel like the frustrations from our personal life spills over into this, and the frustrations from this or the tension from this can spill over into our personal life. How it is that I find that we deal with that is both of us are very open when it comes to our problems. And it's not that it necessarily comes naturally, but we've committed to try and be as open as possible with each other. And yeah, we have those times where we kind of talk things out. So I think that's how we deal with it.
Yeah. It is that. Yeah. That's a new one for us because before we didn't have these issues. I think this is a fairly new situation because we are growing and other things are happening. So yeah, communication is definitely one, and sometimes that falters. So we just have to reel it back in. In terms of trying to, I guess, because there was a part of the question that I took differently. The stress can be intense, and that can be with some of the comments that we get. How we don't allow that to bother us is maybe I'm speaking for me and not just you or us, but the way that it helps me, and I think it helps him as well, is that we try now to pay more attention to the positive comments versus the negative, because the negative comments can probably take precedent if you allow it to, but for every one comment we get 300 positive ones, so we allow that to keep us going and not stress us out. So that was my take on the question, but
Okay.
yeah, yours was good too though. I think yours was the right one.
Your question.
Okay. All right. So Sam Light Shine, man, you messaged us the other day and we got it late. We are so sorry.
Yeah, because I mean we've been really busy, to be quite honest, and we'll answer why.
Yeah. Any commercial deals coming up?
Yeah, I mean you would have seen it in the beginning of this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been in some discussions. Yeah, but you guys will see. You know that we're gonna let you in on everything once it is that anything comes.
Yeah.
So to be continued.
Yes.
Stay tuned. But yeah, thanks to Babla again.
Yes.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
How do you guys solve things whenever one of you does something that upsets the other one? I think this is like pretty similar to the one that I answered before. So yeah, we talk it out. Of course, we both have our different ways of, you know, dealing with arguments or the aftermath of arguments. So I get really quiet and like very in my feelings and, you know, tend to be very like just in my own thoughts. So yeah, you just have your couple days of dealing with that in your own way and then we move on from it.
Same for me. I get in my feelings. I don't say anything. I think I'm going back and trying to fix the issue in my head. I'm trying to, you know, whenever we do have a disagreement, I have to be quiet because I don't want to say the wrong thing. So, yeah.
Okay. Your question.
What is your age gap and what role does it play in your dynamic? And this is from Rice Pud.
Yeah, that's Becky. That's my cousin. Big up to Becky and Remy.
Yes. Okay, so the age gap is only 3 years. Let Alec tell you it's
3.5. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's 3 years. I don't think it plays a role in our dynamic at all. Do you?
No. To be quite honest, I don't. I think had we been in two different eras of our life, that it would be felt there. I don't think it's because of age.
Yeah.
But I think that coming into it, we both were at the same stage in life. We both had already ticked off some of the same goals. We both had some of the same goals moving forward. So we're pretty much at the same stages in our lives.
Yeah.
And yeah, looking forward to building those new or going through those new stages together.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of questions, guys.
It is a lot of questions.
What have past relationships, good or bad, taught you to be better for the other?
Oh my gosh. A few things. My last relationship taught me to be more patient and to not be as vocal about everything, because I used to be that guy where if something bothered me, I'm gonna tell you. You know what I mean? Like I did not choose my battles wisely, I feel. So now I'm a little bit more, I'll take time to think about it. Is it something that I need to say something about? If it's not, I just leave it alone and like, you know, get it out of my head, because it's not that big of a deal. Not everything has to be said.
And for me, it's actually completely the opposite. I don't think that I used to talk about my issues enough, and I would sweep them under the rug or basically try and justify something that I was upset with, whether it be on the person's part or on my part. And yeah, I think now I speak up even when I don't necessarily want the conflict, because I don't like dealing with conflict. But yeah, I speak up a lot more now than I used to before. Before I used to run from problems.
Okay. All right. So this is from Rice Put again. Opinions on his and her roles in and stereotypes in relationships.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that our relationship is pretty balanced. There are things, so when people say his and her roles, I'm assuming the her roles, they're talking about domestic roles, who is more emotional. I don't really like saying that they're her roles, because at the end of the day, I think just because of socialization, we're led to believe that those things make you any less of a man. I identify very much as a he, him. And I think that each person is different. Everybody has different levels, but we all have emotions and we all deal with them differently. So in terms of emotions, I don't think that any of us prescribe to a he, her emotion. It's a human emotion.
Right.
In terms of other roles,
being domestic, the cleaning, the cooking,
or even being like who you find is dominant or who you find is submissive. I think that the beauty of a gay relationship is that those lines are blurred for me.
Same.
Because I lean to both sides on any given day. So
same. I agree.
Yeah, so no, I don't think we prescribe to any of them. Okay, this one is from me. This is from Tonio. Is Alec really as nice and sweet as he seems, or can he turn up?
He turns up.
I mean, it depends on what your definition of turn up is. Because if turn up is like, can I hang and can I go out and party? And if you haven't seen my birthday video from last year, like anybody that knows me knows that I love to have a good time. If turn up is fight,
oh yeah, okay.
Then
he's not gonna fight.
Yeah.
But he will read you on the slide.
Yeah, so I have a very slick mouth and I'm not afraid to use it.
Yeah.
That for me has always been my biggest weapon. For me to get physical, it's gonna take way too much, and to be quite honest, I don't feel like there's anybody that is worth me going that far.
Yeah.
Because that really is not me. But yeah, I'm not nice all the time.
Okay. You can read this one.
Where are some good places to look for good, upstanding men that I can get married to?
You're supposed to say it in your accent. We did it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I mean, just look your eye out, I guess. I don't know. You can meet anybody anywhere. The grocery store.
I mean, so there's no place that we can tell you that you need to go there or this is the best place to go. Yeah. You just have to be lucky enough to find it or it find you and take it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alec, how has your experience been being a parent? It's been interesting. It's been humbling. You also go into it thinking that you have a plan, and several wrenches are thrown in your spokes every direction that you go. But it has really been fulfilling. It has made me appreciate my parents even more as well. And appreciate all parents out there. I can tell you that. It's not easy, but it is extremely fulfilling. Yeah.
All right. So this one isn't a question. I'll read it anyways. PSM TJBM. Not a question, just love to see happy married couples. Happy 1-year anniversary. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. This question is from Timmy B81. When are you guys going to visit Jamaica again? And I would like to see Brian dancing. I used to have a video of me dancing.
One video.
It was one.
One video.
I was whining and I hated the video. I liked it.
Yeah, because he can dance, he can whine, but... Yeah, so I think that it's just cultural differences, because in the Caribbean, a man being able to whine is not a bad thing. Like, that's actually a good thing to everybody, you know? So here, it's a little bit different. Here is TikTok dances, it's twerking, it's a lot more, you know?
Yeah.
Gangster kind of vibe. We do have that there too, but like, whining is accepted in so many countries. So to me, it was a good thing to know that, you know, you can keep up.
Okay, your turn.
No, well, the second part of the question, if we're gonna be going to Jamaica anytime soon, it's no control of ours right now, but I'm not able to travel until this whole immigration process has been settled. I am waiting on my green card or some sort of travel document. So we're probably not gonna be going anytime soon, and even when we do go, it's gonna be under very different circumstances. I think that we'll have to take a whole lot more care when it comes to safety.
Yeah, we probably won't tell anybody that we're going.
Right?
Yeah. It'll just be like a in and out.
Who knows knows.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's unfortunate, but yeah, that's the steps that we have to take right now. Journey to Jay asked, is Alec gonna share the rum cake recipe? I will try and share the recipe closer to Christmas, and probably see if it is that we can maybe do a tutorial for those who are interested for the golden rum cake that we use for everything. But yeah, we'll just ask Coco's question quickly. Brian, can you tell us what happened in the airport in Montego Bay on your first visit to Jamaica to see Alec? Because you mentioned this in one of your first videos, and she's been curious ever since.
Okay, so it was a lot going on. So let's start when we landed. As soon as you get to the gate, you have somebody from the Ministry of Health coming in to say their whole spiel, which took about 5 minutes. Then you have to wait in the corridor to see a nurse so they can check your travel authorization, ask you all types of questions that is on the paper. Once they're done with that, which that line could take 45 minutes to an hour because there's multiple airlines coming in at once. So once you go there or leave there, you go to immigration. You stand in that line for them to check everything, and they ask you all types of questions: where you're going, who you're going with. You leave there, and then you have to go stand in front of duty free for them to add an app to your phone so they can track you.
So that's on the way to customs. And that who was doing that was basically our version of the army. So we call it JDF, Jamaica Defense Force. So that's a whole nother set of people.
So you go there, they don't have Wi-Fi, or the Wi-Fi half works, and you can't leave until you download this tracker. So that took about 45 minutes. Then you collect your bag, and then you go through customs. And that's another line
But
because
to search everything,
yes,
ask all these questions again.
It was about a three and a half hour process.
Yeah, almost 4.
Yeah.
But really and truly, he came in 1 when the airport or borders just reopened. So it was very chaotic. You had less people at work. And then you had 2 different entities that are not normally at the airport coming to conduct their own business with their own interests, which would have been Ministry of Health and the JDF, asking the same questions at each point. So whatever the normal process would be, times it by 3 or 4. And yeah, that's what it ended up to be.
Yeah, it was a headache.
Yeah. I was in the heights of COVID, y'all, so.
It was worth it though.
Just a little.
Where do you see yourselves professionally in the next 5 years? So, professionally, unless things don't work out with this B6 merger, if it doesn't work out, then I'm leaving the aviation. However, if it does and I like it, I'll keep it, but I'll probably just do it part-time. I think one of my new interests now is becoming an appraiser, appraising homes. The reason why is because I see a lot of, there's not many Black appraisers, for one. And then I see a lot of issues happening where people of color aren't getting their houses appraised fairly. There was a news article, a few of them actually, where they would remove they had the appraisal come with their, pictures of their families up, and they would get appraised low. And then they would take all of, their pictures, family pictures or whatever, and they might even put up pictures of white families, and their appraisals will come in over $100,000 more than what the original one was. So I kind of want to be the change to that. I know I can't fix everything, but I can start, I can help. So that's one of my goals within the next 5 years.
For me, it's a little harder to be able to picture where exactly I see myself, because I'm not working currently. I'm in a new country, so it's a very, very new experience for me. So I think it would be easier for me to answer this question after I've actually started, when I can imagine me growing in a certain area or industry. But at this point in time, I'm just trying to remain as open as possible to any opportunity that there is, because there are more opportunities here professionally in terms of options than there would have been where I'm coming from. Okay. This is from Onengs. How did you guys know that you were right for each other? So he has 2 questions. So that's the first one. So I'll ask the first one first.
How did we know we were right for each other? I think we answered this probably, but I do feel like we had a specific conversation. It was a very deep heart to heart, and neither one of us, judged each other. We loved each other so much more. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just feel like the conversations that we have, like when you know, it's just a legit feeling. I can't put it into words.
Yeah, I think for me, if I had to make reference to a specific point, when he had booked his trip to come to Jamaica, the week before he actually came, he was supposed to come a week earlier than he had actually come. That week when he couldn't make it because we had the wrong COVID test and everything, I was so upset, so in my feelings, and I think that's the first time I had expressed my frustration with, COVID and everything, and the process of you coming down trying to visit to my mother. And at this point, I hadn't come out to her yet, but I'm sure she knew what the situation was. At that point, it kind of showed me that I was very invested, feeling-wise, and physically meeting him for the first time. Everything just felt right for that trip.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, that trip for sure told me that there's potential here for this to be forever.
Yeah.
Now, the second part of the question, before you met each other, have you guys both been in a long distance relationship? If not, why now?
I hadn't been in a long distance relationship. I've been in a relationship that felt like it was long distance. But no, I hadn't, so I don't really know if I can answer that fair.
I've been in one twice before. One time was with somebody from Trinidad. Second time was with somebody from Jamaica, but during our relationship, he moved to the US. The Trinidad one did not last long. I think, it ended after 3 months. 3 months being together and knowing that there's no end, not being able to see where it is we would have been able to bridge the gap. That was our downfall. The second one, honestly, I learned a lot from my second go around trying to do distance. So I knew what was okay with me and what wasn't okay. And why no? I feel like with love, you don't choose who you fall in love with. You don't choose the conditions. What you do choose is whether or not you can accept it. And he just had so much good going for him that I couldn't imagine not doing what I had to do to keep him.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a random question. Who has the best looking feet? Alec.
Me. What are you guys asking out here though? Who has the best feet?
Right.
Do you guys want to see feet?
All team two moms. They ask how's married life.
Okay.
Married life is great. I mean, it's just as good as it was before we were married. I don't think much has changed, which I think is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were caught in the euphoria of the event that was the wedding for a few days, and it took a few days to recover. But after that, we kind of went back to what our regular everyday was. So it's kind of different when you guys have been sleeping in the same bed before the wedding and going back to that after the wedding. The only thing that I would say probably has shifted over time, knowing that we were getting closer to the point of marriage, is just the dynamic of a space feeling like yours to it shifting to feeling like ours. So the nature of conversations changed closer to getting married and after getting married. But yeah, in terms of vibe, same thing. Yeah, nothing has changed. Back to the YouTube questions. What is your definition of love, and how do you two show it towards one another and others? That's from Jonathan.
What is my definition of love? It's deep, man.
Yeah. I think to define love is pretty hard. Love means something different for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just how someone satisfies my soul, pretty much, and what role they play in my life, and what role I can play in theirs. In terms of showing it, I think I try to show up for the people that I love in whatever way I can. Yeah, just by being able to listen, being able to give advice, being able to share my experiences with them as well. I am very much a gift giver as well, and I like to do things for people that I love. So yeah, that's how I show it.
Okay. I believe I do the same thing.
Ditto.
Yes. All right. So from Tar Heel, favorite cuisine for each of you. Mine is fake Italian food.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I like American Italian food, like the chicken parmesan, pizza,
Anything with red sauce.
anything with red sauce. I love pasta, which is not good for my weight. But yeah, chicken parm is my favorite, and I was very crushed to learn that that wasn't a real Italian dish.
For me, I love fried chicken and I love chow mein. So one part is the black side of me and the other part is the Chinese part. So it's very fitting. But yeah, chow mein and fried chicken are my two favorite things.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi Alec, how are you adjusting to your new life in Orlando? Funny thing, so today's the 9th.
Yeah.
So today was when I came up here last year. Makes 1 year exactly. So it doesn't really feel new because I've only been living here technically since May, but I spent the better part of the last year here in Orlando. So I think I'm well adjusted now. I don't feel like a visitor by any means, but it's good. I'm very comfortable with Brian and his friends and the community that we've built here. I'm excited though to be able to go out and experience it a little bit more for myself personally, in terms of, you know, forming my own friends and just having new experiences when it comes to work and having a little bit more independence. But yeah, my experience in Orlando has been great.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. I'm ready for that too, though. I'm ready for you to get friends and like.
Yeah, he's tired of me. Basically, what he's saying in a nice way.
Not what I said. I know you're tired of this house. That's why I was like, it's time to get you out. All right, so I'm gonna ask 2 questions, okay? All right. When are you going to do a meet and greet? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. That's so hard because I feel like where we do have Mass Gang members, it's all over.
Yeah.
So if we go to if we have a meet and greet, I am gonna be so upset if it's empty.
Yeah. We don't know where we would even be able to do one, how to set it up. We really don't know.
Yes, and I mean, we would want to be considerate of like everybody and how they're gonna get there, and you know, so it's so much to think about. And I don't know that we're big enough for that.
Yeah.
But you guys can suggest where you think we should do it.
Next one. When y'all get mad at each other, who apologizes first? It's a 2-way street. We actually really apologized during the argument, which is kind of weird. Because like, as we're disagreeing, we're apologizing for what we did to the other person. You know?
And I mean, the thing is too is that I don't think the other person allows us to exit the situation without them apologizing, because we both do that. Like, we're like, but you still haven't said that you're sorry. So yeah, it depends on the day and who it was that initiated it, I guess. That was the second question. Okay. All right, so this is from Lady Africa. Are you guys still going to the gym? And them want me for answer in a patois.
So the question is yes and no. We actually picked up playing tennis, which is high intensity cardio.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything. It's a full body workout, to be
Yeah.
quite honest.
So some days we'll go to the gym. We haven't been this week, but that's multiple reasons: work, weather.
It's been storming here, so
Like,
getting
raining
out
real
of the house
bad.
has been harder. His schedule for the week has been slightly different, so he's been working later than he normally does. So
I was delayed yesterday. I came home late. So
oh,
it's
sorry,
like-
I forget. I'm supposed to answer in a patois, right? I'm not supposed to answer in English. You guys not gonna get this often, so please revel in it right now. Moving on.
Okay. Is it my turn? Okay. All right. What's a pet peeve of each other that you both learned to accept?
You can go first.
Why? No. I'm asking you the question.
I want you to go first so I can judge how bad.
Nope. You go.
Okay. Pet peeves. Physically, I don't like open doors. And yeah, he leaves the bathroom door open. He leaves the room door open. So that's one. Second one is answering a question with asking a question. So those are the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my pet peeves is not cleaning. You know what I mean? Like, if you see something, you just leave it there. So that's one pet peeve. And then to piggyback, it's funny that you said that. To piggyback off the question one, it's crazy that you said that. It's asking a question that's not clear, which would in turn make me ask a question to get clarity in.
Well, when I'm talking about it being my pet peeve, it's a very clear question. For me, when it bothers me, it's when it's a clear question. And then the same thing is asked back to me, almost in the same words. That's when it's a pet peeve for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with, if I'm not clear and you ask me, like, that I'm okay with. Because I know I can trip up on my words sometimes.
Okay.
You guys are trying to start an argument here. We see what you're doing. It's okay. Okay, this one is from Eric. I'm stepping into the stepdad role soon. Is there any advice you can give, especially for someone coming from the Caribbean? First off, congratulations to you, Eric. Welcome to the father family when you do. This is a very good question because for me it was an adjustment. Especially, and I get when you say especially coming from the Caribbean, because if you are coming into an American household setting, it's very different. In the Caribbean, I think that all of us can share that we grew up in extremely strict households. It's you have to say please, thank you, you're welcome. You use manners for everything, more so. And I mean, it's funny because it doesn't necessarily follow through to adulthood. But as a child, you're held to like an extremely high standard. So coming into a situation, being a parent in America now, like the way that I'm answered, it like puts something off in my brain, like, excuse me, who you talking to? Like, you're talking to an adult. So you should have excessive manners, basically. Outside of that, I think that in the Caribbean too, we're quick to use the rod and not spare the child. But here, you really have to, especially coming into it as a step parent, you have to be more in tune with the child's emotions, putting yourself in their shoes, trying to understand their situation and understand what their dynamic is like with their birth parent coming into it. So there is a lot to learn, but there's no rule book on how to do it. Yeah, but it does help to have those kinds of conversations with people in similar circumstances, and to especially have that conversation with your partner.
Okay. For Alec, what advice would you give to young gays living in Jamaica about living their truth?
Find your community. And I mean, this isn't just applicable to people in Jamaica or in the Caribbean. I think for anybody, whether gay, straight, find a community. Find people with similar experiences, because I think that it's important to have people from all walks of life as a part of your circle. But to be quite honest, at your core, you still need to find people who have shared experiences that you have. It makes it much easier being able to be in a space where you know you can be 100% yourself and be truthful with those people. Outside of that, if it is that you think that Jamaica is not the place for you, try and find other routes and other places where it is that you can exist to be comfortable and be yourself 100%. I didn't initially have the want to leave Jamaica, but now that I have, and I've grown into this new person, or into Alec 2.0, it's very hard for me to imagine not being this version of myself. So I understand completely if it's not for you, and if it isn't, try and find whatever way it is that you can to find that space of comfort within yourself, somewhere that you're comfortable. All right. Brian, this is from Billy. Did your son's mother know about your sexuality prior, or did that come out later? And are you two on good terms?
It came out later, but we're on decent terms now. We weren't always, but we're doing a lot better now. And it had nothing to do with my sexuality. It was just
Other
things, like lots of other things. But she's cool now, like they've met, so there's no issues.
Yeah.
All right, so Sally knows that my favorite color is black. You're right, Sally, and she wants to know what yours is.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that are paying like real special attention, if you notice, most of the hearts that we use in the comments are purple. So that's my doing. Purple is my favorite color. It's on my phone, it's on my AirPods, and my other phone that's recording. Yeah, all different shades of purple.
Okay.
Let's see. Bea wants to know, how are you feeling now, Brian, since that trip to the emergency room?
It's crazy. I'm not 100% back to where I need to be, but I'm feeling a lot better than I was that day.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing good. It's a road to recovery for sure, but I'm good. Thank you for asking though. Who said I love you first?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I was going to say I love you first, but I was stopped.
So mean. So I did tell him that you can't love someone without seeing them, or like I said, I can't love you if I haven't seen you, or something like that. So, but that was just me being apprehensive because we were moving fast and I was nervous. I didn't want it to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, because I started saying it and like I was like, I don't know about you, but I mean, for me this feels like love. And he was like, no. He was like, no, not yet.
Oh my gosh.
But this was literally right before we physically met in person, so I get it 100%, but it also had me retreat. So I was like, I'm not gonna say it until he does.
And I essentially said it first, since
Yeah, literally like a week
later. Yeah.
Yeah, a week later. Yeah. So I didn't love him until he loved me. Let's see here. What can you say to parents who disown their children because they're gay? Honestly, there is nothing I can say to a parent who disowns their child, because I cannot understand why you wouldn't disown them. Like, I can understand not understanding their sexuality, but there's so much that child has to go through on their own to even bring themselves to saying it to a parent. And to me, it's hard to understand how you wouldn't be able to see the hurt. You wouldn't be able to see that your child has not changed, but they're choosing to be vulnerable with you. And for you to reject that, yeah.
But even in cases where the kid doesn't tell them and they find out the kid is outed, you should be there to support that child. I don't understand how you birth something, you raise it for however long you've raised them, only for you to turn your back on them like that. Did you really love that person? You know what I mean? Like that questions you as a person so much. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can understand it taking time to digest everything. That's completely normal and completely fine. But to disown, that's the part that doesn't sit well with me.
My words would be grow up.
Yeah, grow up.
I mean, I only got one left.
You only have one left? Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I think I have like one left too. So, somebody wants us to talk about our dads. Yeah, so in our entire year sharing, we have not really spoken about our fathers, which I get completely why somebody would want to know. Initially, when we started doing these sit-down videos, I think, speaking for myself at least, I think that things were still too fresh or too raw, and I was still processing it, so I didn't feel comfortable disclosing anything about my relationship with my father. It, for me, has always been, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put into words. We've always been in a very weird space because I feel like our interests are different, our personalities are completely different. And then there's a part of me that felt like, you know, I wasn't man enough to be the son that he would have wanted. But these days we are much better. I think that we acknowledge that we're two very different people, and there's a lot of things that we may need to talk about, and we may or may not have those conversations, but I think I'm at peace with the relationship that we have now. Yeah, so I love my father. Yeah, that's all I can really say at this point.
I don't speak about my dad because I don't necessarily speak to him. I love him to death. We talk here and there, but I have not told my dad about me at all, just because we don't have that relationship, and I don't feel the need to bring stress in my life when it's not necessary. You know what I mean? Maybe one day we'll have that conversation. If he asks me, I'll 100% talk to him about it. I wouldn't be surprised if he knew, he just didn't say anything. Because most of my family on that side does know. So I find it hard to believe that he doesn't know. But growing up, my dad and I have always had a seesaw relationship where we wouldn't talk because there was an issue that would happen, and then we just get super close really quick. And then it's like he'd pull the rug from underneath me and I get my feelings hurt again. So I've developed a wall to protect myself, essentially. And I don't allow him access to me in certain ways anymore. So
I mean, everything isn't perfect on either side, but there's a lot of growth that we can both have. And yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, you just have to kind of see where time takes you.
Yeah,
but we'll see how that goes.
All right, guys, the last question. So English, Nidra, I hope I'm saying your...
It's Nedra.
English,
Yeah, so
Nedra.
that's the opposite way.
Nedra English. Sorry. What other accomplishments do you plan to achieve as a team? I think from where I'm sitting, I would love for us to purchase a home, start multiple businesses, and just, I don't know, start life. I just feel like everything's on hold right now because of this damn process. But I just want to start life with you, and then I could be able to answer that more.
Yeah. Because, I mean, for sure, we want to do more travel that's not restricted to the US. As you said, purchasing the home, I think, is what is my biggest dream right now, is to be able to be here, work for 2 years so that I can then be a part of that home buying process together. But other than that, yeah, I'm excited to see where this journey takes us. And where we go in this scope of social media, as well as exploring our individual passions professionally. Because I'm just excited to see where it takes us.
Yeah.
I don't want to put like any hopes on much because I want to be able to enjoy the process organically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, guys, this is a very long video compared to what we normally do.
Yes.
We appreciate all the questions, both from people on Instagram and on YouTube. We couldn't get through to all of them because we know that questions were even still coming in by the time we shot this video. But we truly do thank everybody. Special thanks to the sponsors of today's video, Babbel. And of course, special thanks to you guys for always tuning in. And you know what to do. So if you like this video, do what? Give us a thumbs up. Please comment. We'll try and answer any questions that were unanswered if you ask them in the comments. Please share the video. And if you haven't already, what do they need to do?
Subscribe.
Please. All right, guys. Bye.